What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Talkin Dribble, your go-to sport for all things NBA. It's episode 7, and we've got a massive show lined up.
That's right, the trade deadline has come and gone, and we're breaking down all the biggest moves, who won, who lost, and who completely fumbled the bag.
Plus, we're ranking the top 10 duos in the league right now. Who's got the best 1-2 punch? You know we're going to debate this one.
And of course, we are introducing a new segment to the Talkin Dribble pod, Start, Bench, Cut. This week's picks are going to be brutal, so expect some heated arguments.
We've also got Dribble and Dash, plenty of banter, and much more. But before we get into it,
make sure you're subscribed and following us everywhere. Listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Watch the full episode on YouTube and catch us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for extra content. Your support has been incredible, and we appreciate every single one of you guys listening.
All right, let's get into it. This is Talkin Dribble. All right, we'll start straight off with Dribble and Dash. A heap happened this week as well as the trade deadline finished. So a few trades to notice before. Obviously, we touched on the ones last week with Fox and Luka and AD. But more ones happened this week with Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, Brandon Ingram to the Raptors. Atlanta traded DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs in exchange for Karis LeVert and 3 second-round picks. And then Marcus Smart got moved to the depths of hell in Washington. So not sure what that one was about. Suns finally moved on from Nurkic and traded for Cody Martin from the Charlotte Hornets. Ben Simmons was bought out by the Brooklyn Nets and signed with the LA Clippers, so not sure who won or not there. Big news, Mark Williams got traded to the Hornets for Dalton Connect. Then Williams obviously failed his physical for the Lakers, so the trade was rescinded, and both players are back on their previous teams, so that's awkward cities right there for them. And then shattering news came out of the league a couple of days ago. Giannis has suffered a calf strain, and AD has suffered an abductor strain. Both will miss the All-Star game. So reports came out, Trae Young has replaced Giannis in the East. And controversial, Kyrie Irving has replaced Anthony Davis in the West.
That's BS.
So that kind of sums it up. I think, we'll head straight in. I think, how does Sabonis not get a fit in there? I understand if it's a guard that's gone down, but...
Yeah, you understand if Kyrie goes in, if a guard goes down like a like for like. But, bro, Sabonis... He is averaging some of the best stats in the league. Like he's balling out, and AD goes down. Surely a front court goes in. Would have been perfect for Sabonis, but no, they put in. I'd love to see a head-to-head Kyrie Irving Sabonis.
Yeah,
like I feel like we're just Sabonis's fan club right here. But man, like how is he not an all-star?
It's obviously a viewership thing for him because it's like you're talking about. All right, Anthony Davis is out, one of the biggest stars in the league. Who do we want to put in? Sabonis, a European who probably doesn't bring in much viewership, plays for the Kings. Or are we bringing in Kyrie Irving, one of the most talented guards we've ever seen? Yeah. And he's a walking highlight reel, plays for the Mavs. So I think that's kind of the main thing that gave Kyrie the tipping point.
But that shouldn't be the reason why one person gets an all-star nod and one reason.
That's literally killing, it's in pretty much all these blokes' contracts and stuff. It's like you make an all-star game, you're getting this much more money or something. It can help these guys so much long-term. So if that is the case, that's pretty disappointing because Sabonis has done more than enough to be worthy of an all-star nod this year.
Happy Trae Young got a gig. You said it last week, he continues to get snubbed and he's balling out. It's probably not even one of his best seasons compared to the other years where he's been snubbed. But it's good to see him get a gig in replace of Giannis. I thought Tyrese Maxey and LaMelo Ball, they could have been maybe the other options.
Yep.
But good to see one of them got in. I think I had Trae in my all-star team. Yeah, I did. So it's good to see him in. But Jimmy, to the Warriors.
Massive.
Trade's finally happened.
Oh, massive. I know. There was so much about it. It's like a bit of a relief that it's all done and dusted. But I thought he was guaranteed to go to the Suns.
Bro, we spoke about that.
There was so much talk about KD getting moved. And then once it all finished up, there were reports like KD had no intention of leaving the Suns. So there's so many false reports and stuff going on, but huge. I think this really helps the Warriors long term. No, not long term. To win now. This is a big win now. It does.
Move. It's a risk because it's Jimmy Butler is a risk. He's a big personality. Will he fit with this Warriors system? He's not exactly a 3-point shooter. He's a very on ball. He needs the ball in his hands to have a really good effect. He's not like this spot-up shooter.
Yep.
But he's a smart player. He's smart. He's probably one of the smartest players in the league, and he plays well in the postseason. So if they have no time to muck around the Warriors. They're sitting at, 11th seed in the West right now at 500. They need to, make some moves.
I think they just need to get at least into the play-in. I think once they get in there, you'd trust someone like Steph and Jimmy Butler can get that one game or that two if they're at 9-10. win 2 games, get him into the playoffs. And then once they're in there, we've seen Jimmy come from the 8th seed to the championship before.
He can do it. It doesn't matter. He doesn't see the numbers in the playoffs. He doesn't care where he's sitting.
I really like it. I heard Steph talking after their game, and he was like saying it's pretty incredible to see like a player where Steph is so big on the perimeter, and that's his area. That's where he loves to dominate. And Jimmy's the complete opposite of him. Yeah. He's dominating the paint. He's getting to the free throw line a heap where Steph doesn't really get to. So they're complete opposites, really, which can sometimes really work. So I'm super keen for it. I think this is a great move by the Warriors front office.
Yeah, for sure.
Hurts to see Wiggins go.
Oh, I was just about to say that. I know. You feel bad because he's had a lot go on in his personal life, especially last season. And yeah, apparently when he was told, you could like see the heartbreak on his face, and it was quite an emotional.
He had no intention of leaving the Warriors.
No, I think he wanted to spend the rest of his career there. But he's been in trade talks just about every mock trade you see. Wiggins is there. Mm-hmm. So, had to make the move. They weren't going to do anything with this roster, the Dubs. They need to take advantage of the rest of the time they have Steph. And having Butler there definitely does that. So
100%. That's the thing. There's no point having 2 aging stars on your team and just sitting with what you're working with in the 11 seed. They had to go make a move for a superstar. That's it. And hopefully Jimmy can stay healthy. Hopefully Steph can stay healthy. And they need Draymond there to kind of pull that team together. So I like it. I'm keen to see.
Yep.
A move that went underrated that I absolutely loved and had no idea why Atlanta did this was Cavs getting DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks. I don't know why. He's having a breakout year for him and they get rid of him. Like I understand trade him when value's high and stuff, but what, Karis LeVert and some seconds? This guy's like a 6 man of the year candidate and playing elite basketball. And I said this earlier in the week too. I really think this like DeAndre Hunter move for the Cavs is like Boston when they acquired Derek White.
Yeah, I love that comparison.
I feel like this is just a massive win now move that someone who can just pull that team together, gives you so much length, a 3-and-D player, and he's shooting the ball at an incredible rate. And he can defend along the perimeter as well. So
it wasn't like these massive moves that happened in the trade deadline where you just completely shake up your roster. It's that last edition. Cavs had a little hole in their 3. Yep. Even if he doesn't start, they can still start Max Strus. But if he's on the bench, if he's starting, it does just give him that extra weapon, gives him the length defensively.
Yep.
And it could be the difference in progressing to the 2nd, 3rd round in the playoffs.
You compare the rosters. I don't think there's that much of a gap between them now. You're talking about Donovan, Darius, Evan Mobley, Hunter now, Jared Allen. They're pretty stacked.
When you actually compare it like for like, there's not too much of a difference talent-wise. It's just, it'll come down, can the Cavs step up in the playoffs? We've seen them these last few seasons. They had a few injuries last season. But these last few seasons, the lights have been too bright, as Alan said.
I feel like they got the right man at the helm now with Kenny Atkinson. Yep. Even like Ty Jerome having an insane year. So he's kind of like their Peyton Pritchard off the bench, but he's like 6'7". Like he's massive. He's a huge guard where Peyton Pritchard's an undersized guard. So it's like I feel like they've got so many pieces similar to the Celtics, but like not the newer improved ones, but I think like the up and coming ones that I don't know. I think I think the Cavs. I think they were like nearly my biggest winner of the trade deadline. I'm super impressed with what they did. That was a winning move.
Yeah,
they're going to keep this going.
It's that extra move that just can separate the teams from winning a championship or not. Apparently everyone was trying to trade for KD near the end of the trade deadline. What was it like 9 teams calling him?
Bro, T-Wolves were the last team to call about him.
Bro, you needed... Yeah, I wanted you guys to like push for him. Now actually thinking about it, it's like, bro, if you could have flipped Julius Randle and something for
we had KD on our team. Oh my days.
I don't think you need him necessarily, and I don't see KD as this recipe for success like all these teams do.
Yep.
But...
if he's on the block though, like you'd be kicking yourself if you didn't even inquire about him. Like you have to, if he's there, you have to at least ask the question. So completely understand that.
Should we move into the first segment?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to introduce it? Do you want me to introduce it?
Oh, well, we'll just go straight into it. So the winners and losers from this trade deadline.
Massive.
This is a big one. It's very opinion based because it's really kind of where you sit on these players. If you think they're effective for this team or if you think it was just a wasted move. I think there were a few wasted moves at the deadline. Some I didn't completely understand. And obviously there's the big one that we all still have question marks about. But we'll get into it. We'll just go team by team and we'll just list if we think they're a winner or a loser.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll start off. The Lakers.
Lakers, they're a winner.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
They're a winner. They got Luka.
Mm-hmm.
They got Luka. We're not sure yet if this team can contend this current playoff run. Obviously, that Mark Williams trade fell through, which is such a fail. Like, they get Dalton Connect back. So there's a big hole at the 5.
Yep.
Like, if Jackson Hayes is starting for you in the playoffs, I don't know how deep you can go. But look, we haven't seen Luka and LeBron. We're actually recording, the day we're recording today, I think Luka's going to make his debut against Utah. So
super keen.
We'll see how it looks. Yeah. But there's a hole at the 5, obviously. But if you get Luka Doncic, you're
winning.
Yeah.
If you're getting Luka Doncic and you've given up 1 first-round pick, I'm sorry. Yeah. There's no way you don't win.
Nah.
They're instant win, 100%. Which I think we'll go to our next one, is the Mavs. Winner or loser?
The Mavs, they're losers, bro. They traded Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
They traded their franchise player, as we said. We went on about it last step. But you've seen the fallout. The Mavs have lost, I think it almost has gotten to millions of fans.
Yeah. And then AD plays 3 quarters and goes down with an injury and he's out for multiple weeks.
Which is horrible. But it's almost like, bro, he's 31. Like, it's not like anyone saw that and was like, what? I can't believe that happened. Like, bro, they traded away their young player for a 31-year-old guy who's got injury history. And
that's the thing. Like, I feel like we could watch the Lakers game today, knock on wood, like, this would be terrible to happen. But say Luka goes down with an injury or something, he misses a few weeks. No one's like, oh, my days. Oh, Lakers just made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, they're not in a win now. Like, they are, but they've got so many years to plan ahead where it's like, AD's injured. They have no time to muck around with. They're in a win now. They have to lock in, where Lakers, it's like, Luka could miss the rest of the season. And it's like, oh, that's okay. He's got another 10 years to go win him a championship.
That's it. So, I thought they did make a good move trading for Caleb Martin, just getting a bit more depth on the bench. I think they sent off Quentin Grimes.
Yeah. Which I liked him while Luka was there. I thought that was a good
Quentin Grimes. Yeah. Well, that's it, because he's a 3-and-D kind of player. Yeah. Like, Caleb Martin isn't as consistent of a 3-point shooter. Obviously had that amazing run with Miami.
Yep.
Has been at Philly, has been a weird fit with Philly.
Yep.
So I like, from a defensive perspective, I like Caleb Martin being on that team. They've given him a bit more depth. But yeah, look, ultimately, if AD's not healthy, they're no chance to compete. Exactly.
All right, we'll go to our next team, Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento Kings, they're losers.
Yep.
No direction for this roster. Obviously, they had to make a move with D Fox, saying he's not going to extend his contract, but getting Levine in for him, they got a few first rounders and stuff, but getting Levine, they don't have a point guard, honestly. I actually thought
flawed team they've got right now.
I actually thought when Ben Simmons was on, he was bought out by Brooklyn, that Kings could actually look at him. They don't have a point guard, but they didn't make any moves for an actual playmaker.
They're in a weird position. I know they got a few picks and stuff, but they're in a super weird position because now they've got DeMar there, who obviously isn't a winner. Levine, not a winner. We love Sabonis, but he hasn't proven to win.
Yep.
And you're talking about Malik Monk, who's been on, this is his 3rd team now.
Yeah.
They're like painting him as their guy right now.
It's weird.
And it's like, if he's your guy, if he's your number 1 ball handler, you're not a winning team. No, nothing against Malik Monk, but he's a connective piece that you want in your team. So
they've had a history of making these moves where they just don't really set the franchise up for success. Yep. But hey, they're given they're basically the Bulls 2.0 with Levine and DeRozan, and I can tell you, it doesn't work.
It don't work. If it ain't working in the East, it ain't working in the West.
It ain't working in the West, man.
Not a chance.
Okay, another one. The Bulls.
This is a tough one because I like the move you had to get rid of Levine and stuff. Would have liked to see more that you get out of that. So I think at this point, losers from the deadline.
Right, we're losers.
However, if you end up being terrible and get Cooper Flag, then it's probably a winning move. But you're kind of just betting on fate and you're just kind of hoping that chance comes that you get a good pick.
If we actually were going to capture the flag, try and compete for a top pick, we would have traded Vucevic.
Mm-hmm.
We would no doubt have had suitors calling us up, being like, give us Vuce.
Yep.
I don't even care if we didn't get much for him. Like, yes, his value would have been high, but right, what are we doing? We have the most mediocre roster. We're going to finish in the play-in probably again, lose, not make the playoffs, get a shitty pick. It doesn't make sense. We're similar. We're the East version of the Kings, honestly. Like, we have no direction. I love Lonzo. and I really thought he could have been our point guard for the future. But he's well past it, and we gave him $20 million, like another extension.
That was weird. That was very
so
interesting.
random. Apparently, we were shopping him, and people were calling, but like, no, let's just keep him. Let's keep Vooch.
I thought he'd be a great piece. I was like, oh, T-Wolves, I'd love for us to go after him. Get it? Like, he's still young. He's like, get a young PG. He's a heck of a defender. And he can kind of, if you get him on a winning team, like I'm not saying we're not a great winning team right now, but a team that's been around winning last season, and there's not so much pressure on him, he could kind of succeed a bit and get him in a winning culture. And like Bulls, you're trying to lose. Like you want to lose. So I don't understand why you'd want to keep him around for that.
But we aren't. That's the thing. We're not actually trying to lose. We watch us day in, day out. We're not, obviously no one is trying to lose, but it's the way we're setting up our roster. We're re-signing blokes. Like we're not trading our best player when we need to. It would be interesting to see what we do with Giddy because we didn't give him a rookie extension. But I hope we keep him. I'd rather have Giddy for the long term than Lonzo because Lonzo has all this injury history.
He's younger and he doesn't have injury history. 100%. That's all right. We'll move on. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, well, we basically said they're winners.
They're winners. Probably don't have to spend too much time on that. 100%. They're possibly the best team in the East right now.
Yep.
So, really excited about them.
Okay. The Toronto Raptors.
Ooh.
This definitely, this trade caught a lot of people off guard.
We knew Ingram was on the trade block. We knew Pelicans have been shopping him for the last few seasons. Didn't expect the Raptors to go after him. So, I like it. In terms of, obviously, it's not like, oh, they're a contender now because Ingram hasn't shown he's that sort of player. But they're a bad team, and I think even the addition of him, they probably still will be a pretty average team. But I like them just building that young core a bit, and he's a bit more of a veteran player. So you've got Quickly, you've got Barrett, who's having a great year.
Yep.
Scotty Barnes, really good young talent. Jakob Poeltl, good big man. And now you add Brandon Ingram.
And you have Grady Dick.
Grady Dick, yeah. I really like their team in terms of for the long run.
Yeah.
I like the addition of Brandon Ingram.
You can see some direction.
Yeah.
You can see that they're building this core. Scotty Barnes is probably going to be their best player moving forward, but they got RJ, they got Ingram. They've got pieces, so they're not necessarily going to win now, but... And
you're talking they get a top 3 pick this year. They get a pretty much certified stud. That can completely turn around their team. And you're saying say they get... if they get Cooper Flagg, but then Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, a superstar in the making, and then it's and they've got Brandon Ingram there, and Scotty Barnes there, and RJ Barrett there. All of a sudden, it's a good young core.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's actually, this roster's looking half decent. In the East, where it's chopping and changing every year.
Yep.
Okay.
Things can change quickly. Yeah. So, I like it. Look at Pistons this year. Yep. They've changed quickly. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Winner or loser? Milwaukee Bucks.
This is a controversial one because obviously a lot of Bucks fans are sad to see Chris Middleton go, which we are. He's been a heck of a player for him. Was a huge addition in their championship run. He arguably one of their best players to play for him. He had a great, I think what goes underrated, he had a great playoff series last year when Giannis was out for pretty much the entire series. So he's still got a lot of good basketball left in him, but he just can't stay on the court.
So winner or loser?
Adding Kuzma's a winning move.
Yeah.
I think you go younger, and obviously he's not playing great basketball for Wizards, but that can happen when you're playing on a terrible team and a team that has no direction, a team that has no interest in winning right now, has no winning players, has no vets to pull him aside. He's just playing street ball out there.
Yeah.
He's joining a championship level team now. You're talking about a champion in Giannis. You're talking about one of the best guards to play the game in Damian Lillard. Veterans. Doc Rivers, as much kind of crap he gets, I still think he's a good coach. He's a veteran coach that's been there. He's won championships. I like the move. I really like the move.
Yeah, I like it. They had to move off Middleton. Between Middleton and Giannis, they were injured all the time in the playoffs, and they needed to bring in Kuzma. He is having an all-time career worst season. He is looking like a bum out there. But get him into a more professional outfit. Get him under Doc Rivers, who has proven that he can be a successful coach. He can put players into line. Hopefully he can, unlock this side of Kuzma that we've seen before. We've seen him
played real, and we've shown he can contribute on a championship level team. Him on the Lakers was super strong.
What was he, the third, fourth option on that team?
He was really good.
Not really much pressure on him to succeed, but he played natural.
Barring this season, he's been really good on the Wizards.
Yep.
So if they made this move last year, I think people would be ecstatic about it. Yeah. But it's because he's having such a down year.
Yep.
Like it's been rough to watch, but I think he can turn it around. I'm excited
Bucks
for that.
needed to make a move.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a good. We were saying like Bradley Beal, but I'd rather accuse him, honestly.
They also brought in Kevin Porter Jr. as well.
Yep.
Another guard. I don't mind. So they lost Marshawn Beauchamp. They sent him to the Clippers.
Massive deal.
But I just like that. I think that's just winning moves as well in terms of just bringing other guys in, another ball handler. I don't mind it. I think they made good moves.
Beauchamp or Beaucamp?
I think it's Beauchamp.
Okay, Marshawn Beaucamp.
Champ.
Anyway, Spurs, San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs.
They got to be winners.
Winners for sure.
Yeah.
That is a massive winning move. Like, I am so excited. I just wish they went in the West because they're going to be a powerhouse for years to come, I think.
I know, it's a shame. It's almost like I want all these teams to be good. There's so much good young talent.
Yep.
And Fox and Wemby, I really think this could be a all-time kind of duo heading forward. They're in a stable franchise like the Spurs. And De'Aaron Fox, he was on the Kings and he was showing how good he was. He hasn't quite, he's lived up to the hype, but he hasn't quite put himself in that superstar level to be in that level with all those consistent all-star guards. But as Curry, as Lillard, as Harden, as all these guys kind of age, Fox will become that.
Yep.
But Wemby could definitely accelerate that process.
If you're the number 2 option with Wemby for years to come, you are in very good hands because that guy, we'll get into it a bit more later, but that guy is going to be a stud.
Bro. And Fox, even Fox pairing with CP3 right now, that could do wonders for him going forward.
And just think of the development that could mean for Stephon Castle as well because people are raving about him. Like every team wanted him. Like he's got so much potential. They're literally saying like he's got Shea aspects about him.
Yeah.
He can sit under those two for a few years, learn so much, and then kind of come when his time is ready. They're a scary team.
It was actually
built
funny.
For the future.
But you didn't realize that they kind of were. You knew they had young talent, but all it was making this one move, and then all of a sudden the roster just looks completely different. Yep. They made the move without getting rid of Castle, without getting rid of Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell.
Yep.
They kept their young core. Obviously, Wemby's sitting there. Jeremy Sohan. Like, they're actually built for the future, and they could be a sneaky playing team.
Yep.
They'll be there at the end of the year.
I think they'll have a good back end of the year,
Yeah.
and then just be ready to go next season. Like kind of a Houston have a really good finish to the year.
Yep.
And then the next season they're just guns are blazing.
Yeah.
They're on fire.
Oh, it's exciting, and
100%.
they're definitely winners.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, the Golden State Warriors.
I strongly believe with the roster construction they have, it's a winning move. There's no point sitting around with aging stars and just let it blossom out and you could just waste the last few years of Steph.
Yep.
They had to make a move. They had to take one last shot really at contending for a championship. And I think even if they don't kind of do what they want to do this season, I don't think this is their last shot in terms of like this season is now or never. If say they have a good run, say they make the playoffs, compete, and then come free agency at the end of and make some moves in the off season, they could just bring in another little piece here and there, like they did in their championship year. They made little moves that, when it comes to a championship and stuff, you start to realize, oh my days, that was game changing stuff. So I think it's a great move for him. I think it's
I like
very
it. I don't
positive.
think it's going
to move.
I don't think it's going to put him into the championship window per se. Like I think, potentially next season once they get an off season under them.
Yep.
But they had to make a move. They did well to not get rid of any of their young core, Kuminga, Podsy, Moses Moody. Like they've still got the depth there. It's just, we know Jimmy's going to turn up in the playoffs. We're not sure how it's going to look like if they do make the playoffs. We're not sure how it's going to look like with the Warriors.
Yep.
But at least they have some depth there. It'll be up to their young guns to see if they can perform consistently in like a 4-game series. But it's no doubt a winning move. They're better off with Butler than Wiggins.
Yep.
But I guess that leads us into the Heat.
100% the Heat. This is a super tough one because whenever you lose a superstar player, it feels like a losing move. But look, I think right now, I think they are losers in this trade deadline, just in terms of you lost Jimmy Butler. And which can be a massive thing. Like obviously that kind of locker room cancer bit is out of your locker room. But like, I I think it's super tough. I love the addition of Wiggins though, and then they went and got Davion Mitchell. So it's good. They're building for the future. But I think I actually would have preferred to see him be more aggressive and go get something else, go get more picks or something.
Or young talent at least.
Yeah, something that can. I love Tyler Hero, but I don't know if he's a number one option for the long term.
Yeah.
And I love Bam. He's kind of regressed a bit this year. So I think I would have liked to see him be more aggressive in getting more young talent or more picks involved and set yourself up a bit more. But I think it was a positive move for them. Wiggins is a great player, but yeah, I think there could have been more done for him.
It is good to see it over though, like the Butler saga over. It was would have been such a distraction for the players, coaches. Pat Riley obviously I don't think they were even speaking by the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in a sense, it's good that he's out. He's a headache for them. Now he's in the Warriors, can be the best player he can be. And from a Heat perspective, they don't have to deal with that anymore. They got Wiggins, who's a very low maintenance player in. But yeah, it would have been good to see. Butler.
Yeah.
I don't know. They get more for Butler.
So you winner or loser?
I'd say.
Super.
I don't know. I'd say probably loser, just in the sense they did give up their best player, who's led them to 2 finals in these last few years. For Andrew Wiggins, who's not necessarily an outstanding player anymore.
Yeah.
But hey, it was. And the trade needed to happen. There was actually talks that it was going to be a 3-team trade that Wiggins still would have been sent to Miami, and then KD to the Warriors, and then Jimmy to Phoenix, which would have been insane.
And KD vetoed it.
Yeah, apparently he was like, no, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
I don't blame him. But would have loved to see a reunion there.
One you're not going to like. Losers, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yep. Hey, I am right on board with that. I'd love to argue because, it's my T-Wolves right there. But I was super flat. I was up at 6 a.m. watching the deadline and stuff, just keeping an eye on it. Shams tweets coming through. I was just waiting for something about Minnesota. And I was just hoping we can make one move. We just needed Julius Randle gone and hopefully get something in return, because I've been watching us. He's been injured, and this is some of the best basketball I've seen us play. And I'm like, nothing against him. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
We had to make a move. Didn't have to be anything extravagant, but yeah, I was very disappointed. I think we're a massive loser in this trade deadline.
Yeah, I would have loved to see just make some kind of move. You guys are playing such good basketball now that Randall's out. He's injured right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to see you guys just make a move. It didn't have to necessarily be for like a Kevin Durant, but I don't know, something like a DeAndre Hunter move where you could just slot a guy in there just to unlock something that you guys are missing. Look, I think you're better off without Randall, honestly. Yeah. I actually do. You've said you guys just look like a completely different team without him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was just something there you guys could have. You've got leeway with this DiVincenzo and Randall coming in. You've got kind of just one too many players in your rotation.
Well, that's the thing with us having injuries lately. We've played so much more of our bench.
Yeah.
And it's been so good to see. Like Jalen Clark's getting minutes. He's a diamond in the rough. Dillingham's getting more minutes. Luka Garza's come in and played well. Naz Reid's starting, which looks phenomenal. Like, everyone's been bumped up and it looks so much better. Jaden McDaniels is playing elite basketball this month. Like, it's been super good to see. And then I feel like once Randall comes back, a lot of that could be reset again. And we're back to week 1 of the season where it's just rough basketball, ball so stagnant. It's just Ant and Julius Randle going one-on-one. And we just lose games. Like, yeah, we've strung some really good wins together lately. I've been loving it. Like, pretty much our only games we've been losing is when we've had Ant out as well, which you'd expect. You're talking about your 2 number 1 options.
Yep.
And then Dante DiVincenzo and stuff out as well. We had a game where Naz Reid got injured in the first quarter and we lost to the Wizards. But like, not many people are going to win that game when you're missing your whole team.
Yeah, that's it.
But we look super good without Randall right now. So it's been, would have loved to see us make a move. Yep.
I think I got one more winner.
Yep.
Clippers.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I like with the Clippers, that Bogdanovic move.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the shooter they needed, definitely. Like, they don't have too many 3-point threats, and they're making some noise in the West. I don't think they're an actual contender, and I thought they could have made a bigger splash because you can't really rely on Kawhi Leonard to be your best player down the stretch. But I love that Bogdanovic addition.
And they just got Ben Simmons. I'm not saying that's a massive win or something, but he's still a good player. And I think it was good they got rid of KPJ. He was an odd piece in that team. They have a lot of guards, that kind of do similar things. Like he's kind of a rip-off version of Harden. It's like you're bringing him in, a guy who doesn't play defense and wants to just score the ball. But he's not as talented as Harden to do that. So I like that. They got rid of him. Bogdanovic is in. Bochamp's in, who's a long wing. Ben Simmons now, who, when he's playing, is an elite defender and he's an elite playmaker. We just love to see that be untapped a bit more.
Yep.
I think they were a big winner. I like what they did, but yeah, I still don't see him as a top-tier contender in the West. I think they're still overperforming a bit. I expect there could be a bit of a decline as, like you're talking about, Warriors start to improve. I think T-Wolves are starting to improve right now, so we've just jumped them.
Yeah, well, a lot of these teams below them are making moves, even the Lakers, Dallas.
Spurs.
I don't know about Dallas, but yeah, Spurs.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting
100%.
to see how it shapes up.
Yeah.
But I got a kind of a smaller market team here, Utah Jazz. They're a loser for the trade deadline. They made no trades.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all these players playing pretty well. Colin Sexton averaging a career high in points.
Could have traded high on
Markkanen, John Collins, like these guys, they needed to move them. Like, what are they doing? They're one of the worst teams in the league with this talent. They needed to offload these players. No doubt they were getting calls about him. Apparently, John Collins, there was almost a trade done. They told the team about it, and then it just didn't happen. I think it was to the Kings, maybe. But yeah, they needed to make moves. I don't know why. They basically did nothing. They did one trade with
made no moves.
Luka.
I know the one move they did make was something that changed the entire league, and it had nothing to do with them really.
Yep. And Pelicans, I thought they're a loser. They traded away Ingram for basically nothing. And I don't know, if you're going to trade Ingram, you might as well just look to offload everyone almost. DeJounte Murray's just, was it his ACL? I think, which is
done.
so shattering. So they've got McCollum sitting there. They've got Zion.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like they're just, this roster has hit its limit and they need to completely reset. So,
quick last one I think's a loser.
Yep.
Is the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Just because, I think a big one is Bradley Beal still on that roster. It was good they got rid of Nurkic, so that's good. They had to, but I feel like as long as Bradley Beal's there, you've got those three players together. I just don't see him going anywhere. And they haven't, it's only been a couple of games since after the trade deadline, but it hasn't looked like anything's really improved. I just think for a team that had a lot of potential to make a lot of moves and make something happen, or at least build for the future then, if you end up moving KD or Beal, maybe get something in return. They didn't do any of that. They stuck with they've stuck with what they've got and it's not working and it hasn't been working. And I think it will continue to not work. So
that's valid.
I don't like that at all.
That's valid. I've actually got one last one as well. I've got a winner.
Yeah?
The Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you know why they're a winner?
Because they didn't do anything?
Because their biggest threat, who knocked him out last year, just got rid of their best player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how the Lakers are going to shape up. Luka's still in the West, but OKC just sitting there, minding their own business.
Chet's back.
They were like, bro, the one team who beat us last season was the Dallas Mavericks. Look, we couldn't stop Luka. He's been traded. So they were just, they didn't really have to do anything. And I think they're one of the biggest winners of this trade deadline.
Yeah,
so
I like
that probably says more about the Mavericks than it does about the Thunder. But
no, that's a great call.
Yeah,
they're a big winner because probably the best team in the league. They're just cruising.
They're cruising, bro. I don't think they've lost. Wait, have they not lost with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein playing? There's only been a handful of games, but
I don't know. They haven't played together yet.
Oh, okay. I think it was Hartenstein. They've only lost 2 games with him playing Hartenstein. It's insane.
They're different.
Crazy. Shall we move on?
We should move on.
All right.
100%.
Well, now that the trade deadline has passed and the rosters are set for the playoff stretch, let's talk about the dynamic duos that are going to light up the NBA. So from unstoppable scoring to defensive powerhouses, I'm ranking the top 10 duos in the league right now, post-trade deadline. So from 10 to 1, there's going to be some snubs here, but at number 10, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. So that might seem low. But look where they're sitting right now. They're like... They're not doing well. They're definitely not living up to the hype. And I definitely think the teams I have in front of them are actually better as a duo. But individually, KD's an all-star. D-Book was probably an all-star snub this year. But I've got them at number 10 because they're 2 of the best scorers in the league. But, bro, they have not reached expectations.
I actually like thinking who didn't make it because I'm like...
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the honorable mentions when I get to the top. But, look, I almost didn't include them. I included them over a duo that are relatively new. So D-Book and KD, they're at 10.
Yep.
Number 9, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. They're at number 9. They're going to be elite going forward. Paolo hasn't had his best year in terms of actually like translating to winning for the Orlando Magic. But those two, I think Franz Wagner is one of the most underrated players in the league, and they were injured, so I guess it's hard to base it off the results from this season. But individually, they've been balling out. Franz Wagner, no doubt, would have been an all-star if he was healthy.
I think it's only concerning that when they've actually played together, they've struggled more.
Yeah,
they
like
kind
Franz started balling out more when Paolo was down,
and they started winning more.
Yeah,
and now Paolo's back.
I think
France is back.
Going forward,
it's been losing games.
I think they'll get a top 6 gig.
Yeah, right.
And they showed last year that they were two really, really special players, and I think they're just going to keep getting better and better. Number 1 pick, Franz Wagner, one of the best pure scorers in the league.
Yep.
Got them at number 9.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Number 8, new duo, Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. So AD has obviously just gone down, but one of the best defensive powerhouses, probably the best ball handler of all time. Combined, we don't know how exactly they're going to go as a duo, but I can't wait. Obviously, it's not Luka and Kyrie. It's going to look completely different. Mavs are going to go on defensive heavy, but as a duo, I think these two could definitely be a problem in the playoffs.
Let's see if we see this duo.
Yeah,
all my days.
That's it.
Like, who even knows if they're going to play together lately? Oh my god!
I hope we see him. Like we've been banging on how bad of a trade it was for Dallas, but look, I hope they get something out of Anthony Davis. Yeah. Look, he's out indefinitely at the moment, but hopefully it's just a couple of weeks. But look, in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to be facing these guys. Like there'd be more teams I'd want to face.
Scary, yeah, 100%.
All right, that moves to number 7, Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. So I reckon they're completely underrated as a duo. They've shown when they play together over these last few years, they win. They got the 2 seed a couple of seasons ago. They were basically the whole team was injured last season, but when they play together, bro, they win games. Ja Morant, the most explosive point guard in the league. Triple J, one of the best defenders in the league. Another All-Star nod this year. That's his second for his career. His scoring has just gone up. Like his production's insane.
Yeah, he's had a good year. He's had a really good year.
Yeah, balling out.
Oh, and I think Ja right now, if he stays healthy and sticks with his issues off court, like hopefully they start to go away, he's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. He is a full-on superstar and has done a lot early in his career and just kind of fizzled out the last few seasons. So I like that. I think they're super scary. Grizzlies are a real threat in the West for me.
Yeah, they are. I think they're the 2 seed right now, and they're not looking like slowing down. So if they stay healthy, forced to be reckoned with.
Like it.
Number 6, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. So it was kind of hard to actually determine which duo we're going with, but I reckon these are the 2 best players in the Cavs. The number 1 seed in the East, it's pretty hard not to have them in here. Donovan Mitchell is, just a baller. And playoff time, he usually does turn up. Evan Mobley, this is his best season yet. Earned his first-time All-Star. I reckon he'll be an All-NBA player by the time the season's done. One of the best defensive players in the league. Donovan Mitchell is just, he's clutch. He's probably one of the most consistent scorers. And in this Cavs team, he's not having to be Superman like he has been with Utah and like he has been in his first few seasons with Cavs. Kenny Atkinson has reined him in. But as a duo, I love these two.
Yeah,
love them.
Perfect.
Number 5. SGA and Jalen Williams. So the number 1 seed in the East.
That's low.
It might seem low, but I have these other 4 better. But, these 2 are balling out. I have these guys low because as a duo, obviously it's 2 very special players, but it's more their team, like as a whole, is the reason for success. But Shea, currently leading the MVP race. Jalen Williams, first-time All-Star. What more can you say? They're 2 of the best offensive and defensive players. Like they just play both sides of the ball like the whole OKC team does. It almost feels like these 2 they just put the egos aside and they just ball out. Sometimes it's Shea, sometimes it's Jalen Williams. But I love watching these 2 and it looks like their chemistry is unreal.
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
Yeah, it says a lot about them. Number 4, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. So obviously, Jamal Murray probably isn't the player like Jalen Williams is or like Evan Mobley or Ja Morant, but Jokic really does bump up this rating. And in the playoffs, bro, these 2 are probably number 1. Like Jamal Murray just is a different kind of player when it comes to the postseason. Nikola Jokic is the out-and-out best player in the league, and it's not even a question. I personally think he's probably should be leading the MVP race again. But these two, as a duo especially, like their pick and roll play, Jokic, like even their inverted pick and rolls, Jokic playing the point, it's insane. They just, their chemistry is unreal. And I think from a chemistry perspective, they're probably the best duo in the league.
Yeah, when you actually think duo and playing together and mixing together, that they're probably the most effective because they're really the only few duos out there that actually play off each other.
Yep.
It's not just star power, it's actually they have a 1-2 punch that's nearly unguardable in the playoffs. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Just would like to see Jamal kind of get back to Jamal Murray because he's.
Well, but that's the thing. He's never been an all-star. Like he's never actually. He doesn't really have these amazing regular seasons. But playoff race comes by and he he's a different beast. So that's number 4. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with how I just said Antetokounmpo.
You did well there. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thank you. So these two, star power. Just star power. Giannis, top 3 player in the league. Damian Lillard, an all-star again. They're experienced. They're veterans. We just want to see them get over that hump, stay healthy come playoff time, and be an actual force in the East. Like they have top 2, top 3 East potential.
Yep.
You look at their roster. If you have Giannis and Dame, why wouldn't they be better than a Cleveland or like a New York? You know, like it's not like they're not deep. They've got Doc Rivers as a coach. Like they've got all these pieces just making them fit. But as a duo, Giannis, probably the best offensive/defensive player combined. Damian Lillard, one of the best shooters of all time. And their production's crazy. So
I like it.
That's at number 3.
Yep.
Number 2, Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. 2 all-star starters. Jalen Brunson, potentially the best point guard in the East. Karl Anthony Towns, potentially the best center in the East. On this New York Knicks team, they play heavy minutes. Their production's insane. I don't think anyone could have picked Karl Anthony Towns to be so good in his first year. Couldn't imagine trading him. Jalen Brunson, right, like, who would have thought after the Dallas Mavericks series where he averaged like 14, 15 points a game with Luka, just wasn't enough. He obviously demanded a bit more money than the Mavericks were giving him and betted on himself, went to the Knicks, and man, he runs New York.
He's the key in New York now.
Bro, the buck stops with him. So that's why I've got a number 2 though.
I like it. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what this one is.
Number 1, Luka Doncic and LeBron James. We have not seen a game of them together, but bro, this is the greatest of all time. Paired with Luka Doncic, one of probably a top 10 player by the time he's done. I seriously can't wait. It is obviously a massive call. Putting them.
That's massive.
Putting them at number 1 over all these players, but bro, the 2 best playmakers in the league paired together. 2 of the best players who make role players just excel, especially in the playoffs. LeBron James, Luka Doncic, they're like the smartest blokes in basketball. Yeah. And Luka, I feel like people are forgetting how special Luka is in the playoffs especially. He is a different beast. He was the best player. People were calling him the best player in the league last season, especially once he knocked off OKC, knocked off Minnesota. You can't guard him. And I am so excited to see how these 2 players.
Call. Yeah. Massive call. I don't know about one until they actually play a game.
Well, it's not on your list, is it?
I think my one issue with it, I do think Shea and Jalen Williams are pretty low for a team that's by far the best team in the league. I think they go under the radar a bit. Like both all-stars this year, both playing career high in stats, career high across the board. Both are like just certified buckets.
Yeah, but they're only under Jokic and Murray, proven player of success. Giannis and Lillard, both all-stars. Giannis is a top 3 player. Brunson and Cat, both all-star starters. And then Luka and LeBron.
Would you take Dame over Jalen Williams right now?
Oh, that's tough. I'd probably take Jalen Williams because he's so much better defensively.
Would you take Giannis over Shea right now?
That's tough. They're very like for like. They're very
tough.
like for like.
I just think Shea and Jalen Williams are like a superstar duo right now.
They are, but then they've got more help. Like they've got Hartenstein, they've got Chet, they've got Lou Dort. Like they've got these players. Caruso. They're deeper than the Bucks in terms of like just a duo. Right now, just because of Giannis's consistent greatness over these last few years, and he's still balling out. And Damian Lillard, bro. Like, we can't underrate Damian Lillard, man. He's a baller.
I respect it.
So, hey, that was tough. It was tough when it came down, especially to that.
So who's missed out? Who'd you have KD and D Book over?
So, I had 11, 12, and 13. Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
Halliburton and Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
Bam and Tyler Hero. So I didn't even include Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler because I don't know. I really have no idea how that's going to go, honestly. I was putting up blokes like Ant and Gobert, but I just can't stand Gobert. So they were kind of all the best years. And I didn't include any Philly because we don't even see Embiid. So Embiid and Maxey at their best would absolutely be in there.
Yep.
For sure. But, bro, Embiid doesn't even play. He does not play. So I can't.
Wait, did you have Tatum and Brown?
Oh, bro, I forgot Tatum and Brown.
You didn't have Jason
I didn't have Tatum and Brown.
You didn't have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Oh, no. I didn't have Tatum and Brown. That's just the disrespect to Jaylen Brown.
That is insane. You're talking about a duo that just won a championship.
I had him in there, and I think I deleted them.
I had to second guess myself there. I'm like, did he say Tatum and Brown?
No, I didn't.
You didn't have Jason Tatum.
I didn't have Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Damn it.
Okay, would you put him in?
Yeah. They'd have to be in there. Bro, I'd have to have Tatum and Brown. Probably they'd be a top 5. They'd probably be, I'd have him at 2, I reckon.
And then you bump out KD and D-Book.
Yeah, so KD and D-Book wouldn't be in there. So, for those don't come flame me, number 2, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
No, you can't take it back. You can't take it back.
Oh, well, I'm taking it back. Bro, how did I forget? I actually did this list and I was thinking, bro, maybe have I forgotten someone? Didn't even have him in the extras.
That just won the championship. Oh, my days.
Jaylen Brown's not a top 20 player. Bro, how did I forget that?
That's criminal.
Oh, we love that.
That is criminal. I had to second guess myself. I'm like, did I hear that right? I'm like, there's no Tatum or Brown.
Yeah, no, to be fair, you'd have Jaylen Brown over Brunson and Cat. Like Brown and Tatum.
Yeah, they're kicking their ass every time they play.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I'd still have Luka and LeBron over both.
Luka and LeBron one. Okay, there we go. Clear the air.
So that's my top 10 duos / top 11 duos. Let me know where I went wrong. Don't blame me too bad.
Just a simple mistake.
Simple mistake. It happened to anyone. Oh, we love that.
Oh, my days. Nah, it's good. It's good. Good list. And yeah, I'm happy D-Book and KD kind of get kicked out then.
Yeah.
They have just underperformed a heap. Yeah. But no, I like it. Yeah, Ja and Triple J. Watch them make some noise in these playoffs, I reckon.
Yep.
They're for real. These Grizzlies are scary. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on.
We'll go into a quick little thing. We'll smash through it. A bit of a start, bench, cut segment.
Yeah.
We'll just list 3 players, usually around the same kind of position value, and we'll just pick. Who would you start? Who would you bench? And who would you cut?
Massive. So do you want to say it? And then I'll do start, bench, cut.
Yep.
And then I'll say one to you as well.
100%.
Okay.
I'll start you off. We'll go Donovan.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards. And Devin Booker.
Ooh. Okay.
They're probably the top 3 shooting guards in the league.
I'd say.
Apart from.
I'm starting Anthony Edwards. It's hard not to start that, man. He's what he showed last season. And then his star power is crazy. I'm benching Donovan Mitchell and I'm cutting Devin Booker.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
That's
I think
tough.
I'd take Donovan.
D-Book's so good, but Donovan, I don't know. I have trust in Donovan to turn up more than I do Devin Booker.
I see Donovan as a clear number 1, where I don't know, I think D-Book is better as a number 2. Or
yeah, I don't know how it would be if. Well, I reckon this: if Donovan was on Phoenix, I actually think they would be better.
Yeah.
Than having Devin Booker.
Yep.
I think that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Donovan's just got the. I don't know. He's got that dog in him.
He does. He's a beast. With nothing against D-Book. D-Book's a gun, and he was one of the most important players on that USA team.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, leading a team, yeah, I agree. And I love Ant. Ant. Yeah, what he's doing, after the All-Star starters got announced as well, what he's been doing since then, he had back-to-back 40-point games, and one of them should have been a 50.
Yep.
He's been insane. He's been on a rampage. He went through a little bit of a slump with his shot, and then it's coming right back, and he's he's a certified bucket. He's
Yeah.
putting this T-Wolves team on his back. So I like
he's
it.
in a different, like when you look at the best players in the league, Ant's like a top 10 and Donovan and Devin Booker are like
I
10
see
to 20.
I see Ant as he's trying to knock on that door of like Tatum, Shea.
Yeah.
Tatum, Shea,
He's
and then
in
like
that discussion.
Yeah, and then like Jokic, Luka, and stuff. Like he's just on the outside of that, I think, because he's so young. I think he could possibly get there eventually.
Yep.
But yeah, he's got that.
But hey,
star
no
power.
disrespect to Devin Booker. He like now leads Phoenix Suns in all-time points. Like he's a baller.
He's a
but
gun.
yeah, I reckon. Yeah, Donovan.
Yeah, talking to the 3 best shooting guards in the league, like one of them's got to miss out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I got 3 for you. Sengun, Sabonis, Bam Adebayo.
I didn't think I'd go with this. I'm going to start Şengün,
Okay.
bench Sabonis, and cut Bam. Bam's been
Damn.
disappointing this year.
Yeah.
He's been super disappointing this year. I thought after the Olympics, his offensive game would take a jump because he was shooting the ball so well, especially from the corner. That 3-point shot's nowhere to be seen. Sabonis, borderline all-star. Like, he should be an all-star, especially now with AD out. Şengün, I'm watching him. Every game I watch of him, he impresses me more and more. Like, I know we kind of hang crap a bit on Rudy Gobert. But like, Rudy Gobert's, he's a 4-time D-point for a reason. He's a good defender. Şengün, every time we verse them, destroys him. And I'm talking like body work. He's in the paint, just making moves. He really is a baby Jokic. Like, I don't think his IQ is at the point of where Jokic is, and that's what separates him from everyone. But Şengün is a gun, and I think I didn't have him in my All-Star team originally, but I've been super impressed with him, and his ceiling is so high as well. I think he'll just get better and better.
And I respect that.
I think I'd start him at this point. I think his offensive game is just so much better than those two.
Young though. He's so like he hasn't.
He is.
Yeah,
He
it's
is.
tough. This is definitely his best year so far. But I think I'd actually start Sabonis, bench Bam, and cut
Şengün.
Sengun.
I just don't. Yeah. If you asked me this at the start of the season, I would have done that without hesitation. But I've been disappointed in Bam.
Yeah, this season he's had a flat year, but he's shown come playoff time he can be a baller. He can be a dog, and defensively so much better than both of these guys. I think like if you were going to slot any of these players onto a contending team, I'd have Bam probably as your number one just to like fill that role. He can guard any position. Like he's so mobile, and he's got like that good leadership quality. Spoelstra's spoken about how good of a leader he is.
Yeah.
So I think I'd cut Sengun. I love Sabonis. I think he's just so like his production's insane. Look, I think Sengun's going to be the best player out of the 3 long term. He's a little baby Jokic, but right now I reckon I'd cut him.
All right. I don't know about that one, but I'm backing in Şengün. He's a beast. We'll move on. We'll go Cade, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey.
Cade, Jalen Brunson. I would start Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
I would bench Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
And I would cut Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think Jalen Brunson's the best point guard in the East. He has completely transcended New York, changed basketball there, put him back on the map, like made New York basketball actually fun to watch.
Yep.
He's the most clutch out of these 3. Cade Cunningham, best season so far, first-time All-Star. And I think he's going to be one of the best point guards in the East. Maybe not the best yet, like some of us think, but he's like, he's so tall. He's so, he really is like the true leader of this Pistons team. Like he's not as efficient. Like he's not very efficient, but neither is Tyrese Maxey.
He's not working with much.
But his playmaking is so good, especially compared to Tyrese Maxey. He's the best playmaker out of these 3 for sure. But Tyrese Maxey, like, I love Tyrese Maxey. He's a baller. But compared to these 2, I think I would he's a bit smaller. He's obviously in a pretty bad situation at Philly.
Yeah.
But he's stepping up. Like, in no means is he not worthy of this conversation. But I think I'd have to cut Tyrese.
Yeah, I think I'd start Cade. Cade, I just think is a gun, and mainly just off what he can do as well, what he will be doing soon.
Yeah.
But nothing against Brunson. Brunson's a gun. Like they're all guns. They're all absolute studs. I think Tyrese Maxey is the only one there though that will probably be a number 2 option on a winning team. Where these 2, I think, can lead their teams to the promised land. So yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
That's a valid call.
I like it.
Okay. I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right, so we're starting Jokic, obviously.
Yep.
I
Tough.
think I'm going to have to bench Shai, taking into the account that you can trust that he's going to be healthy come playoff time.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But
that's a valid
Giannis has
call.
not been healthy. So if we're taking that into account, if we're saying like there's no injuries are off, who do you want in a 7-game playoff series? I think I'm taking Giannis because he's just a powerhouse. He's super dominant. How do you actually stop him?
Yep.
But I don't know. He can't stay on the court much, especially in the playoffs. So I think I'm taking Shai. Shai's been super impressive. And I think that could be like literally 1, 2, and 3 in the league right there.
Yeah.
Jokic is so far above everyone though.
Yeah.
Jokic is...
That's why I kind of did it. Like these 3 best players.
Yeah.
Well, like
Possibly
you could have had Luka. It's just hard to
Luka.
put Luka in there right now because he hasn't been playing. But I thought these 3 are really separating themselves in the MVP conversation today. Pretty hard not to start Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd go bench Shai and then cut Giannis.
Yep.
Just because of health. And Shai, he is a baller, bro.
He's a beast.
Leading his team to the best record in the league.
Yep.
Giannis, he hasn't actually been there in these last few years in the playoffs. So,
100%. I think that's
good
fair.
call, man.
Do we want to do the last one?
Yeah,
Last one, okay? This is the big one. Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant?
Damn.
It's the old heads, man. It's the goats of the league.
I'm going to go. Start LeBron, bench Steph Curry, cut KD. That's what I'm going right now. Okay, LeBron, he's 40 and he is still putting up insane numbers. I'd still have him as a top 10 player in the league today. He's, arguably, still the best playmaker in the league. And his 3-point percentage is skyrocketed, balling out, averaging insane numbers, not looking like he's declining. Yes, Steph, he's dropped off a little bit. But as a person leading my team, I would pick him over KD without a doubt.
Yep.
KD, I think his production's better than Steph this season. But Steph Curry, man, when you have him, you're a chance.
Yep.
And you still you have some kind of direction. KD, one of the best pure scorers of all time, but he goes from one team to another and just leaves them worse than when he came. And he's an amazing player, but he needs someone to be leading him. He's not the leader for a team who can actually win a championship. Yeah. He's not always the main reason for winning. He's just one of the reasons. Steph Curry has been the reason. LeBron has been the reason. And today, I would take both those 2 players over KD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I'd have to agree.
Really?
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
I thought you were going to have Curry. I thought you were cutting Curry, man.
Curry. I think when they were on the same team, it's fair to say KD was probably the best player there.
Yeah.
But none of that happens without Steph. And Steph has shown he can win without KD. KD hasn't shown that yet. And then LeBron's just superior. LeBron is on top no matter what. Yeah. I think I have to agree on that. KD, I love him. He's possibly the most gifted offensive player ever, but not better than Steph. Definitely not better than LeBron.
No.
Not my Pookie, man.
Not the Pookie, bro. He's still transcending history. Yeah. I can't believe how good he is still. He had a almost 40-point triple-double the other day. 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists or whatever. I can't wait for Luka to play. We get to watch that game today, 2:30. It's going to be special. It's going to be insane. But
that sums up our start bench cut segment.
Yeah, that's start bench cut now.
And we'll just wrap it up real quick with a hot take each.
Hot take
before we wrap up this episode. It's been a good one. Quick hot take. Do you want to start us off here?
I'll start us off. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to the NBA Finals.
That's abysmal. That's abysmal.
They are. They're going to be there when it comes to the business end of the year, okay? Luka and LeBron, we haven't seen it yet, but these two, Dallas Mavericks are going to regret this decision so much. The Lakers are going to be there. They're going to beat out an OKC. They're going to beat out a Memphis, Houston. They've got the experience. They've got the greatest player of all time, and they've got the best young player, the best playmaker. Basically, 2 of the best playoff performers in NBA history. Mm-hmm. And these 2 together We don't know how it's going to look. Defensively, look, they have a few flaws, but I am looking at this team. I would not want to be playing them and trying to beat them 4 times. If there was a team, I'd say it's Oklahoma in the West. I'm not going to say they're winning the NBA Finals, but they are going to get there. They're going to be there at the business end of the year, and bro, I can't wait.
Look, I get where you're coming from, but when do we see a team make a trade this significant halfway through the season and go on to win a championship?
Well, we don't.
We're talking about completely flipping a roster, brand new, no training camp, no preseason whatsoever, just chucking them into the fire and expect them to go win 30-plus games in a playoff series and win a championship?
Hey, we don't.
With a 40-year-old LeBron and a possibly unfit Luka?
Look.
With no big man.
We've never seen this kind of trade. We've never seen this kind of history be made. We've never seen these two kind of players on the same team. They are 2 of the best players. They're 2 top 10 players. Luka's a top 3 player, and LeBron is balling out at 40. I'm saying, LeBron, he's not going to slow down in the playoffs. And Luka, he's going to step up for this Lakers team. We have not seen the best of Luka yet, and I feel like we're going to see it. Okay?
If you say so, man. I think that's a massive call. I think it's a big thing, especially with how good OKC is right now. But
look, OKC are going to be tough.
I can't see him win the chip.
I'm not saying they're going to win it. I don't know if they could beat a Boston in the finals, but I can see them beating out an OKC who are younger. Look, they're a much more complete team. Defensively, they're amazing. The Lakers, bro. You saw Luka Doncic run rings around OKC last year. You're adding LeBron into that? The second best player for Dallas last year was Kyrie Irving.
You can't just expect this team to just fit instantaneously.
I guess that's why it's a big
call. Thing in the league. I think a lot of people take that for granted. You look at a preseason. Look how bad Minnesota's been. Julius Randle had pretty much no preseason with us. They've come in and we look abysmal. Not saying that they're Luka and LeBron, but it just doesn't work when you change your team so quickly. I just can't see it. And
I get that. I've said that same thing. Like, teams who just make these rapid changes don't win. Like, you need to build it from the ground up. And it would make sense if a Boston wins it this year, if a Cleveland or an OKC. So I just think the greatness is going to overcome that hurdle. And, bro, I'm so excited. I've got a Luka Doncic jersey on the way. I'm all in on the Lakers.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say my hot take. Okay. Spurs trading for De'Aaron Fox and pairing him with Victor Wembanyama has given De'Aaron Fox a first-class ticket to the Hall of Fame. Okay?
Jesus.
If he stays with the Spurs long-term, he is guaranteed multiple championships. You're talking about a franchise in the Spurs that has been such a well-run organization for 20-plus years. They just know how to make the right moves. If Pop sticks around, that is great. I think it's impossible for them to fail. As long as Wemby stays healthy and you have the right pieces around him, which they will, and De'Aaron Fox is the second man at that helm, they are going to win so many championships, and that will take De'Aaron Fox's career from being in Sacramento and not a whole lot happening, not much winning at all, and completely flip that and turn him into a Hall of Famer. And I'm talking possible first ballot Hall of Famer because he's going to win multiple championships with Victor Wembanyama.
Damn.
He's going to be wearing that gold jacket at the end of his career.
That's an insane call. And for a bloke who has he made All-NBA before? I don't think he's made All-NBA. So. He's never won a playoff series. Bro,
he is going to be a Hall of Famer.
It's an exciting prospect, this duo, but Hall of Famer?
Hall of Famer with Victor Wembanyama. They're going to win championships. And then if they win championships and he's doing what he does, how can he not be?
Look, they're going to be there because Spurs have proven they are a successful franchise. When they have that core, they don't get rid of it. They had the dynasty for 15, 20 years, won 5 chips. So they're not a dumb organization like Sacramento who offload these kind of players. So hopefully they can keep it together. But Hall of Famer, man, De'Aaron Fox, bro. He's never won a playoff series.
Trust.
I hope you're right. That'd be a great
Fox, man.
Prospect.
Going all the way. He's going all the way.
That's a tough call, man. That's a tough call, but
look, you heard it here first. Once it happens, we're coming back to this clip in about 10, 15 years when he's putting that gold jacket on. De'Aaron Fox.
Maybe you'll be able to put the jacket on him.
Maybe I'll be there.
Maybe you'll be there.
Maybe I'll just be running the Hall of Fame. Darren. I actually solo picked you.
Well, I'll be presenting the Lakers championship rings.
Yeah, well, that's not happening. You're giving it to Anthony Edwards, buddy.
All right, buddy. That's everything?
That's a wrap. Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for episode 7 of Talkin Dribble. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in, whether you're new here or have been rocking with us from the start. We appreciate all the support.
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube to watch the full podcast and catch all the action.
Make sure to check out us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for the latest updates, extra clips, and some behind-the-scenes fun.
The NBA season is heating up, and next week we're breaking down the latest storylines heading into the NBA All-Star Weekend. You won't want to miss it.
And thanks again for listening. Until next time, stay safe, enjoy the games, and as always, keep talking dribble.
We out.